Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Sunday night. The Sim Racing Short Trackers League returns with the Pro Series late models here in Irwindale for 150 laps of their Pro Late Model Series. We are going to go live real quick here to the Star Spangled Banner brought to you by Madison Rising. You can find them on the web at madisonrising.com or on Facebook. Just look up Madison Rising. We got a lot of good, great race action coming at you here tonight, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Irwindale Speedway this Sunday night, excuse me. Still hung up on last night. Looks like they have made their way down to the grid. Let's go ahead and get down there and get you that gridding action here tonight. And let's see where your drivers stand. As we are waiting, looks like we got a little flip-flop action here tonight. This is going to be your pole sitter here tonight, Virginia driver Jerry Stone, the number 91 car. Run that nice Cola car he's got there. To the outside of him will be the number 31. That's Andre Boudoin. Believe it or not, folks, this guy used to run back in the Busch League in the Canadian Series. So always expecting the great things out of this number 31 driver. Still waiting on one of the series points contenders here. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Short Track Race Network car, the number 51 of Austin Yarborough, starting in third position. To the outside, the Monster Energy, number 72, that's Ray Farlow, another Carolina driver. Starting in fifth position, rounding out your top five here tonight, Logan Runyon, the number 6 Club Ohio driver. Would be the last actual true qualifier, as it looks like there is a little bit of flip-flop. It's an invert, if you will. Tim Bills, the fast car here tonight, will go back to sixth position, and that's what brought the new driver here tonight up to first, the number 91 of Jerry Stone. Other drivers on the track that you still have here, the number 06 Skull Color of Doug Sigmund, the 92 of David Knowles, Adam Maddox. That will round out the field. So Jerry Stone setting the pace here this evening. This is the Sim Racing Short Trackers Pro Series late models. As the pace cars are bringing them around, we'll be set to go for racing. Pace car into the pits. Heading into turn number 3 and 4.
Green, green, green.
Green flag in the air. Here we go. 150 laps coming at you here tonight. And Yarborough already to the inside of Stone as they head out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway towards turn number 3. This is a half-mile track here in Irwindale. It's out in California. Beautiful scenery in the backdrop there, folks. Seeing the mountains out there. Ray Farlow now to the inside of Jerry Stone here on lap number 2. Logan Runyon right behind Farlow. Boudoin up to the high side behind Stone. Here comes the 37 of Tim Bills, excuse me, as they come out of turn number 4. So as we see, there is some hard-fought driving there from your pole sitter here tonight. Through the track they go. Yarborough leads them around into turn number 1. There's the driver there, the Georgia driver here tonight in third on the grid. As we see him make his way through the track, his fast lap time here tonight, 18.11. Thunders down into turn number 1. And as we watch the drivers come out of turn number 4, down the front stretch they come. Ray Farlow still holding on to that second position with Logan Runyon in third, Tim Bills fourth, and Andre Boudoin rounding out your top 5. And as these guys make it a way around again, everybody out into a single file line. Yarborough early on here tonight has a nice little lead, about a half a second, almost more than that, about 0.6 of a second on the number 72 of Ray Farlow. One thing to keep in mind here tonight, folks, since it is 150 laps, that surpasses the 125 lap minimum for an extra set of tires. So they will be able to change their set of tires if and when they get into the pits. We were able to see Tim Bills not too long ago go 200 laps on the same set of tires and fuel, believe it or not. Although it was quite a smaller track than Langley, anything can happen here tonight. Logan Runyon now looks to the inside of Ray Farlow as they head towards turn number 3. Yarborough still with a nice lead coming out of turn number 4. I believe Runyon in that number 6 car is filling out that 72, and he might make his move here. Here he goes to the inside lane. Runyon now closes the gap on the 72 before turn number 3. We'll have to keep our eye on that number 6 car next time around in turns 1 and 2 as he looked like he wanted to make a pass. Still nothing yet. Tim Bills quietly waiting back there in 4th position, right behind the number 6 of Logan Runyon. Runyon now dips down just a little bit lower. Not quite ready to make a pass. You can see the eagerness out of the 37 of Tim Bills, and there goes Logan Runyon to the inside. And Tim Bills might follow with him, almost making 3 wide out of turn number 4. Here they come down the front stretch. Side by side, Farlow and Bills. Runyon and Boudoin to the front and back. And here comes Tim Bills to the inside of Logan Runyon in turn 3 and 4. Boudoin follows down to the low side of Farlow round the front stretch here in lap number 14. Oh, a little bit of connection issues from Tim Bills, your series points leader. Just 19 points ahead of the 51 of Yarborough. And here they come through turn number 4 down the front stretch. Boudoin passes Farlow. Good battle here for second position as now Tim Bills looks to the inside of Logan Runyon as they make their way down towards turn number 3. Tim Bills electing to stay in the low mid groove while Logan Runyon runs the higher side. Nobody diving in deep in these corners here. Everybody's staying at about the midpoint of the turns. It's 111 degrees on the pavement at the time of the race when the first green flag flew. Bills nearly making contact with Runyon in turn number 1. Out of turn number 2, here they come down the backstretch. Logan Runyon still in second position, jumping back to 6th. Taking a look, there is David Knowles making his way out of turn number 4. The Virginia driver here tonight started 7th. He's up 1 position here on lap number 18. Right behind him, Jerry Stone, the pole sitter here tonight with the invert to Tim Bills. The flip between 1st and 6th position. Jerry Stone finds himself currently sitting in 7th. His fast lap time here tonight, 18.39 as he works his way now into turn number 1. Doug Sigmund, the Carolina driver, right there behind him. As you can see, nothing gained, nothing lost for that 06 school car. And Adam Maddox rounds out your field. Another Virginia driver here tonight, 18.35 is his fast lap time as he works his way now into turn number 1. So Austin Yarborough already out to a sizable lead, 2.03 seconds. Works his way across the start-finish line into lap number 21. Started 3rd, and you can see he wants to be on top in the series. He's definitely getting a lot of laps led now as he comes across the front stretch here. It'll be collecting his 21st lap led here tonight. And still the battle back there between Bills and Runyon continues. As Tim Bills working that inside groove as he heads into turn number 3, Logan Runyon to the high side. Behind him back there in 4th position, the 31 of Andre Boudoin looks on. Contemplates possibly making it 3 wide as they come through turn number 2 into the back straightaway. Here they come. Everybody just settled up, and now Runyon finds himself behind the 37 as they head into turn number 1. So Boudoin in 4th may look to the inside of Runyon here in turn number 3. Runyon comes down to throw the block. Boudoin looks to the high side now as they work their way towards turn number 1. we'll see what Boudoin has in store here in the next couple laps. And it looks like somebody's running really high. Jerry Stone, extremely high in turns 3 and 4. And as we look, he's going to run the even higher line here in 1 and 2. Keeping it up close to that wall. A very unique line he's running here tonight compared to the rest of the drivers. Doug Sigmund likes the idea. He's going to follow suit, and Adam Maddox will run that high line as well. Looking back up into second position, you can see Tim Bills coming out of turn number 4. Logan Runyon back there in third is trying to fend off that 31 of Andre Boudoin. As they work their way down into turn number 3. Through the front stretch. And just take a look, get an opportunity to look at the mountain view, the picturesque mountains in the background, folks. Beautiful, beautiful area. And I believe in the news they said this track was going to be shut down possibly midway of this year due to a lease confliction. And it's sad to say that. Short track racing. Very, very good racing where a lot of young drivers cut their teeth in racing to work their way up into the major series. These are our grassroots home tracks. And I know the one where I'm from in Columbus, Ohio will be shut down at the end of the year. Just a sad thing to see. A lot of heritage and a lot of good memories at these smaller tracks. Logan Runyon comes across the start-finish line here into lap number 32. As we take a look at Logan Runyon's information as he heads into turn number 3. Just about 3/4 of a second there behind the number 37 of Tim Bills and about 3 seconds behind the 51 of Yarborough. Out of turn number 2. As the 31 of Boudoin creeping up, closing that gap right there behind him. And Boudoin's going to look to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Here they come out of turn number 4, nearly side by side. It looked like Boudoin got just a little bit loose, so he loses some momentum. Picks it back up out of turn number 2, closes the gap. Will he look to the inside again? Here they come out of turn number 4 once again into turn number 1. Just that quick. And Andre Boudoin now looks to the inside of Logan Runyon. Will he be able to make the pass? Here he comes out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Logan Runyon still holding on to his line. And now Andre Boudoin fans out just a little bit. May make his pass here in turns 1 and 2. Will he do it? He goes to the low side but does not have that momentum just yet. Looking for the most opportune time. But in the meantime, that number 6 picks up a gap. Austin Yarborough, enough can't be said about this young man here tonight. The Short Track Race Network number 51 of Austin Yarborough works his way through the final 2 turns here before closing out lap number 37 into lap number 38. As you see there, 37 laps led for that Georgia driver. Wasted no time, jumping from third up to the race lead, and has since had a 2+ second lead over that number 37 of Tim Bills. Don't rule out that gap, folks. Tim Bills is a legend when it comes to late model racing. The guy will find a way to make it competitive here as these laps progress. And it looks like we got somebody working our way down pit road. It's Adam Maddox. Already looking to get something going on there with his car possibly having some issues. Here they come down the front stretch. Yarborough into lap number 41. Works his way through the first 2 turns. Tim Bills not too far behind him. Out of turn number 2 comes the 37, and look at the battle here now. Andre Boudoin Made the pass on the number 6 of Logan Runyon. Works his way out of turn number 4 and looks to pull away from that number 6 car. So talking about the points coming into tonight's race, as we take a look at the points, Tim Bills leads the series points with 212 points. Just 19 points behind him is the 51 of Austin Yarborough with 193. Then it's a steep slope for the number 6 of Logan Runyon back there in third with 148 points. 8 points behind him is David E. Knowles with 140. Ray Farlow rounding out your top 5 in points with 135. Just 77 behind Tim Bills overall. And as the series progresses, we got just a few more weeks left. Talking about next week, we're going to be in New Smyrna, excuse me. The March 20th event in a couple of weeks will complete the Commonwealth Cup. It's going to be at Martinsville, the third of that 3-race mini-series within this Pro Series late models. And then we'll be finishing up this series on March 27th at Five Flags with a 300-lap Snowball Derby is what they're calling it. Still holds third position. Yarborough up there in first. Tim Bills looks to reel in the gap as he's closed it about 0.4 of a second in these last 10 laps. David Knowles out of turn number 2. Up 2 positions now from where he started tonight. And Ray Farlow, the 72 Monster Energy car, falls back from 4th to 6th. So as Austin Yarborough makes his way through turns 1 and 2, we're about 1/3 way of the race here, hitting on lap number 50. Yarborough now makes his way out of turn number 4, completing lap number 50. Race summary so far of the 50 laps completed. No lead changes, no cautions here at Irwindale. This is the Pro Series Late Model Sim Racing Short Trackers League this Sunday night here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back this Sunday night to Irwindale Speedway here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. It's our coverage of the Sim Racing Short Trackers Pro Series late model race. And it looks like now, here on lap number 63, Austin Yarborough can definitely see the enclosement of that 37 of Tim Bills, as now Tim Bills has halved his way since we left you for our commercial break. Was about 1.6 seconds off, is now just 8/10, almost 9/10 behind that 51 car. Andre Boudoin back there in third position. The Canadian League Busch driver looks to be about 3 seconds behind the race leader here on lap number 64. Logan Runyon has fallen off just a little bit now, as we watch the number 6 driver right there in front of the 92 of David Knowles coming out of turn number 2. Looks to be about 7.6 seconds behind your race leader. About 3.7 seconds behind Boudoin as he works his way down into turn number 1. So David Knowles looks to close the gap on the number 6. Both Runyon and Knowles running the higher side of the track, something we saw Jerry Stone doing earlier on tonight. Jerry Stone right there behind him, and you can see nearly about a foot between that 91 car and the wall. Look at that, as he runs it, my goodness, could have possibly made contact out of turn number 4 when he was heading towards the front stretch. And just look at him run that high line. Some of the other drivers are about midpoint in the track, but this 91 car comes close to hugging the wall. Tim Bills now just 3/4 of a second to 8/10 of a second behind the 51 of Austin Yarborough. Here they come out of turn number 2. These are your top 2 in points. That blue Short Track Race Network number 51 is Austin Yarborough. Right there behind him, that 37 red and white car, that is Tim Bills. What a good race it's going to be in the next 10 to 15 laps, folks. We're in lap number 72, almost approaching the halfway point of tonight's race. Bills in this series, folks, at 37 car you're seeing following back there in second position, has 4 victories in this series. 2 others are going to go to the 51 of Austin Yarborough. And Michael Held has won a race early on in the series, but since due to some issues with his car, has not continued on in the series. So out of the 7 of the total races, if we make it 6, 4 have gone to Tim and 2 have gone to Austin. Just a very dominant display of racing between these 2 drivers. As now Tim Bills has closed the gap to about 4/10 of a second. With each turn, with each straightaway, each progressing lap, that 37 is just closing in on the 51. Here they go into turn number 3. Austin knows, as we talked to him last week, folks, at Concord, he knows that Tim Bills had a fast car and he had to get out and lead as many laps, because it was only a matter of time before that driver right there was going to close the gap on him and look to make a pass. And it was out of turn number 5 at Concord. One little slip, folks, one little slip from that 51 car was just enough to open up the doorway for Tim Bills, and he took advantage of it and through the front stretch took the lead, and it was his race to lose after that. Lap traffic to the inside of Tim Bills. That's Doug Sigmund And that 06 car pushing that 37 higher than he wants to be. And Austin Yarborough got really high. Almost looked like he had to check up just a little bit or to avoid contact with the wall. Jerry Stone now in front of Austin Yarborough. Looks to go to the low side. Dealer's choice for the leader. As Yarborough goes to the high side, Tim Bills looks to come down as well. Into turn number 4, here they go. Austin Yarborough makes his way around. Tim Bills will pass the lap traffic here on lap number 80. Out of turn number 4 comes Austin Yarborough into lap number 81. So with a passing of the lap traffic in the last few laps, the 0.4 of a second that Tim Bills had went back to a half a second. But just in this last lap, he's closed in that 10th and picked it back up. And now looks to be up to the bumper of Austin Yarborough. Just 0.2 of a second off, and he's going to look for a pass. It's going to come in the next 5 laps, folks, is when you're going to start to see some good battling between these guys up here up front. As they head into turns 1 and 2, Tim Bills to the inside. Will he have what it takes? Here they come out of turn number 2. They are side by side. Into turn number 3, Tim Bills is going to go way deeper than he wants. Austin Yarborough will have the momentum out of turn number 4 down across the front stretch. And he's going to make that 37 pay for his aggressive move by pulling away up to 0.3. But here comes Tim Bills, reeling back in that 51 of Yarborough. Not electing to go to the inside in turns 3 and 4. He keeps his line out of turn number 4. With these short straightaways, folks, it's making it difficult to set up a pass. You almost got to follow a guy on his bumper for a few laps before you have the right chance to make the momentum swing to be able to overtake. So Tim Bills looked really aggressive a few laps ago and settled quite down. But here he is again, closing the gap on Austin Yarborough. That number 51's heart, I tell you what, Austin Yarborough's heart has got to be pounding, knowing that this guy behind him, a monumental David versus Goliath. Yarborough gets a little bit loose. And Tim Bills now looks to the inside yet again here in turn 3 and 4. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn number 4. And Yarborough was able to capture some more momentum and pull ahead. The tires begin to degrade here on lap number 88. Any kind of overdriving from either driver, and they could end up in the wall. Yarborough down the front stretch into lap number 89. Tim Bills has fallen back to 0.4 of a second behind that 51. Let's jump back into third position. There is Andre Boudoin now. Just about 2.2 to 2.3 seconds behind Yarborough. Has a solid hold on third. Right behind him is David Knowles. But let's take a look back as Tim Bills has closed the gap now once again on Yarborough. Out of turn number 4. Able to hold on to it, and he might make a pass right here in the first 2 turns. Tim Bills to the inside of Yarborough out of turn number 2. And Yarborough doing what he can to hold on that race lead. Let's take a look at his race information as he heads into turn number 1. 91 laps led of the 92 laps that they're going to be putting down so far. So pretty much every lap out there, race lap, other than the initial pace lap, this kid has led. So Tim Bills silently waiting like a lion in the Serengeti behind that 51 of Yarborough. The experience versus the aggressive young talent. And he gets into him in turn number 1. Tim Bills did not lift into turn number 1, and he met the backside of that 51 car, nearly spinning out, but Austin Yarborough was able to hold on to it amazingly and keep the race lead. But Tim Bills now looks to the inside of turn 1 and 2. Will he have the momentum out of turn number 2? Here he comes down the back straightaway to the inside of Austin Yarborough. What a battle it is here on lap number 95. They are side by side down the front stretch. Who will it be? Will Yarborough hold on just enough? And he will! Out of turn number 2, he's starting to pull away just a little bit, but Tim's not going anywhere. Tim Bills is to the inside, wants that race lead bad, and he is not going to get it. The 51 of Yarborough holds on strong, maintains excellent composure against a very aggressive second place driver here tonight, wanting that race lead very bad. And Yarborough knows if that 37 gets around him, the gap is just going to increase, as Tim had the fast car here tonight. Down the back straightaway they go towards turn number 3, and Tim does not lift as early as Austin does. We see that momentum swing out of 4. Down the start-finish line they go into turn number 1. Lap number 99, Austin Yarborough wants to make it 100 laps led here tonight. Tim Bills to the inside, turn number 3. Into lap number 100 they go. Out of turn number 2. Will that 51 have triple digits led here tonight? Only one turn remains, and they are side by side. But he'll get it. 100 laps led for Austin Yarborough. That means 50 laps more remaining in the race. A really good battle up here for the race lead. And I tell you what, folks, Ray Farlow has been back there behind Tim Bills for quite a bit now. Fortunately, he's 3 laps down in 8th position. But it's only a matter of time before these guys find themselves side by side yet again. Tim Bills closes that gap and now looks to the inside of turn 1 and 2 of Austin Yarborough. A very, very tough track to pass. And now they're side by side again into turns 3 and 4. Look at their lines. Bills to the low, Yarborough to the high, and they're side by side into turn number 1. Ray Farlow closes the gap on him. Oh, wow. Side by side, nearly banging doors. Down towards turn number 3 they go. Tim Bills to the inside, Yarborough to the outside again. And it looks like Tim Bills might have been credited for a lap led there, just with the nose at the last second at the start-finish line. Here they go, side by side, and Tim Bills has just the nose ahead of that 51. Out of turn number 4, they're working their way down the front stretch. And Yarborough's got the momentum swing. It's back and forth with these two drivers. Out of turn number 2, Yarborough pulls away just enough to put the 37 right behind him in a single file line. 45 laps to go, now 44. And this has gotten interesting. Tim Bills to the inside, tries to make a pass here, and they are banging it. Very good clean racing though, folks. Yarborough's up into the wall. That's going to open up possibly the doorway. Amazingly, he went so high. Yarborough went up almost into the wall and kept his speed through turn number 4. An amazing feat. What can't this kid do in this late model car? Out of turn number 4, they come down the front stretch and is pulled away to about 0.3 of a second from the 37 of Tim Bills. Down the front stretch now into turn number 1. Tim Bills does not lift, and it's going to work. He's going to be out just a bit, but here comes the 51 rallying back right there in front of Tim Bills. Into turn number 3 goes Austin Yarborough, leading them right around turn number 4. Pulls out about a 0.2 of a second lead. Side by side they come out of turn number 4. And Yarborough's not ready to give. Tim Bills has been doing everything in his power to be able to pass this 51 car, but at this half-mile track, it's very difficult with the way these turns are set up. He's not able to do it. He's even trying lifting later, like you're seeing right here. He's lifting just a little bit later in the turn than Austin, but it does not pan out on exit when they track out of the turn. And you're seeing Tim Bills run the lower groove now, seeing if that will work for him, and it's not going to. So with 37 laps to go in tonight's race, folks, we got a lot of great racing coming up. Who will it be? Austin Yarborough, Tim Bills still battling it out. This is the Pro Series Late Models here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Irwindale. 30 laps to go, and with 33 to go while we was at commercial break, the 37 of Tim Bills has overtaken the 51 of Austin Yarborough. Ray Farlow now putting up a fight as he's 3 laps down, and he's fighting at 51 as if it's for second position. Andre Boudoin's back there in third. Many fans will tell you it was only a matter of time. I might get my words right there. Only a matter of time before the 37 of Tim Bills is going to be able to get around Austin Yarborough. And I tell you what, can't take nothing away from that 51 as he fought very hard and definitely put that veteran right there to the test. And Ray Farlow is now going to go right around Tim Bills to the outside. Not sure we're going to see any possible pit stops here from these guys here tonight. As we see the 37 of Tim Bills now looking at Austin Yarborough. Yarborough's closed the gap to about 0.4 of a second, as was Bills to Yarborough, just under 100 laps. Out of turn number 4 they come. Way through turn number 2 into the back straightaway. Here comes Logan Runyon into turns 1 and 2. That is your top 5 driver. There's your top 5 on the left side of your screen. Bills, Yarborough, Boudoin, Knowles, and Runyon. Tim Bills makes his way out of turn number 4. Summary statistics there as well. The 128 laps completed. 5 lead changes, folks. 5 lead changes. And I guess you can guess who it's been between. Out of turn number 4 comes the 37 of Tim Bills and the 51 of Austin Yarborough. Right there in front of the 06 of Doug Sigmund. So it ended up being 115 laps led so far for the 51 of Yarborough. 14 laps now led for the 37 of Tim Bills with 20 laps to go here in the race. Yarborough now out of turn number 4, about 1.1 seconds behind that 37 of Tim Bills. Sigmund down onto the apron with some issues as he lets the 31 of Boudoin pass. Sigmund picking up 1 position from where he started here tonight. His fast lap time 18.38. Tim Bills works his way out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Yarborough has closed the gap. Just under 1.1, but it's going to flare back up again into turns 1 and 2. 17 laps remain for the 37. Will he have what it takes? Only time can tell. Anytime you're a leader, it's your race to lose. Are starting to look a lot tighter as they start to lose more and more grip off the track, and the track gets more rubbered up, especially with the heat being as hot as it is. Excuse me. And it looks like possibly somebody got into the wall. 14 laps to go now for the 37. Boudoin back there, heading through turns 3 and 4, electing to run the little bit higher line than he's ran so far here this evening. See the car starting to push towards that wall in the first couple of turns. 92 of Knowles coming out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. A little bit of damage on the front right quarter panel of that car. Through turns 3 and 4, he's going to stay with the dotted lines just a little bit. Sigmund using those dotted lines as a guideline. Logan Runyon tonight looked really strong early on in this race. Has since fallen back to the 5th position. Just about 17 seconds behind your race leader. And right behind him, folks, is Tim Bills. 25 laps led for the 37. It's about to be 26 this time around now as he comes out of turn number 4. Yarborough scraping the wall in turns 3 and 4, getting very tight. See a little bit of scrape marks there as he gets really tight and into the wall down the back straightaway. And he slides just a little bit. Some issues there for the 51 of Austin Yarborough. And you can definitely tell the tires have worn to almost ice conditions. And what do I mean by ice conditions? It means like you're driving on ice. They get very slick. As you can see some wiggle and wobble from that 51 of Yarborough. Some more smoke and he's nearly up into the wall. 6 laps to go for Tim Bills. And Yarborough again looks really loose. Some more smoke comes off that car. 5 laps to go in the race here this evening. Here is your top 5. Tim Bills, Austin Yarborough, Andre Boudoin, David Knowles, and Logan Runyon. More race statistics for you. 145 with 5 to go now, 4 to go. 146, 5 lead changes. Nothing much has changed in the last 25 laps. So it'll be 3 to go here for Tim Bills as he works his way into turns 1 and 2 right there behind Logan Runyon. Coming out of turn number 2. And even Bills is looking to push tight into turn number 3. Jerry Stone still running that same line. And look at this. Tim Bills runs the same line that Jerry Stone just did. As he makes his way through turns 3 and 4, the white flag's going to be in the air for Tim Bills. Here it comes. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go for the 37. Turns 3 and 4. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, down the front stretch. Tim Bills captures the checkered flag. Austin Yarborough slides out across the start-finish line in second position. Andre Boudoin right there will take 3rd. David Knowles will take 4th. And Logan Runyon comes in your top 5. Tim Bills takes another victory here in the series. He's 35 laps led, and he led the most important one, the one where the checkered flag was on. This is the Pro Series Late Model Sim Racing Short Trackers here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some driver interviews, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Irwindale Speedway this Sunday night. What a race it was. Last 35 laps, Tim Bills took over and was able to claim his 5th victory in the series. Let's take a look at the results. There they are. Tim Bills, Austin Yarborough, Andre Boudoin, David Knowles, Logan Runyon, Jerry Stone, Doug Sigmund, Ray Farlow, and Adam Maddox rounding out your field here tonight. Final race statistics there for you. 5 lead changes, 0 cautions. Not one driver, I believe, went into the pits other than Adam Maddox. And I don't even know if he went down there for an actual intended pit stop. So let's go ahead and move to... We're not able to capture a 3rd place driver here tonight for an interview, but we will go ahead and go to 4th place back. That's David Knowles, to capture his thoughts on tonight's race. David, tell us a little bit about how the track worked for you here at Irwindale.
Track was tough tonight. Everybody was sliding all over the place. I was afraid we'd have no cautions, not get a chance to change the tires, so I tightened the heck out of it before we started so that I didn't burn that right rear off through the run.
And it definitely was very hard to battle. I mean, you come in each week, and you got these 2 powerhouse drivers, both Tim Bills and Austin Yarborough, ahead of you. And even Andre Boudoin, who finished 3rd here tonight, has been looking pretty solid the last couple of races. What was your strategy like as far as competing with those guys?
Just hope to hang on, have a car decent enough over the long run to not spin it out. And there at the end, I think I was making up a little time on them, but I'm happy with that. To survive at this track, I'm usually not very good here, so 4th place is much better than I expected.
Well, going next week into New Smyrna, what's your experience like at that track?
I don't think I've ever ran a super late model there, so I have no clue.
So a lot of work ahead for you there in that 92 car. Is there any shout-out you'd like to give for your 4th place finish here tonight?
Once again, just want to thank the SRST for putting this series on, and DKR Customs.
All right. Thank you very much for your time there, David. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dustin.
There you have it, folks. A little bit of words there from David Knowles, who finishes in 4th position. We're not able to capture an interview with Andre Boudoin. Would like to talk to him about the Canadian Busch Series that he ran in. And unfortunately, he was heading out as fast as he finished the race. So we're going to go ahead and go now talking to the number 51 of Austin Yarborough, who comes in 2nd again to Tim Bills for the 2 weeks. I believe it's almost 3 weeks in a row. Tell us tonight, Austin, you had about 100 laps led, and then all of a sudden that 37 started creeping up, and he tried for a long time to pass you. Tell us a little bit about that battle that you had there, where you were staying to the high side of him and throwing the blocks and just doing what you can to hang on to the lead.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely out. He keeps getting bonus points by qualifying on the pole, so I'm trying to get out front and lead the most laps and try to get that bonus point from him, so he can't get that one also. So I got out front, and my tires were just a little wore off, and he saved them by riding there in the back. I know if I stayed on the outside of him, it would be hard for him to pass, and I just got loose off the corner every time.
Well, I know, yes, you finished in 2nd, but I tell you what, a total of 115 laps led is nothing to bat an eyelash at, especially at a half-mile track like this. And as tight as things were lit, and some guys were slipping and sliding as well, he had a variant of tight and loose out there on the track. Turn 4 looked like it was a turn to be reckoned with here tonight. I saw you get in the wall a couple times. Did the car, once you were in 2nd, the tire wear started to fall off, and did you feel that you were pushing closer and closer to that wall each time?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get up there. Felt like there was a little cushion up there, and the closer I got to the wall, I felt like I was a little bit better getting through the turns with the older tires. And Tim, he was running a little lower. He had about 10% more tires than I did at the end on the right rear, and that's how he got away. He was just saving his tires a little bit better than I was.
Well, throughout the series, we've talked about different tracks that you've gone to, and you said you haven't had much experience at these tracks, and you're definitely picking it up here in this series. Next week, we go into New Smyrna. Tell us a little bit about that track. Is that going to be a new opportunity for you, or do you have experience at that track?
Oh yeah, I got a little bit to that track. I think I'll be pretty stout there. I got to try to beat Tim's streak. He keeps on winning. He's just gonna play for a championship. And but we work on setup every week, get it pretty good. But this week I didn't have a chance to test with him, and he did a real good job with the setup.
It's always a pleasure to get to watch you two battle it out. It's like some very good old school racing from the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. But is there any shout outs you'd like to give for your second place finish tonight?
Hey, I like to thank Adam Maddox for putting on such a good show, and you for broadcasting every race we got. I like to thank Justin Brooks, Design, everybody at Irwindale Motorsports, Tim Bills, Casey Kelly, Cody Kelly, Justin Brooks, Tim Bills, David Corey, and just everybody that's keeps the team together and work hard.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week and what you got in the show to put on there at New Smyrna.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, folks. Your second place finisher here tonight, Austin Yarborough, with a good hard-fought battle up against the 37 of Tim Bills. And he's, tell you what, with 35 laps to go and you overtake that 51, I got to ask, and call me a cynic, call me a bad person for asking this, but I wouldn't be doing my job as an interviewer at least to ask this. When you go and know that you have the fastest car on the track, and you and Austin are very good buddies, you guys race for the same team, I believe, and each week and each out, you know you're getting closer and closer because you've been starting in sixth position on the grid, and you work your way through the track. You know there's one point in time where it's going to be coming where you're going to pass him. Do you get the smirk when you finally get around him or anything to that effect there, Tim?
No, it's usually just a big sigh of relief. Honestly, it's tough passing Austin. It's hard to get up there underneath of him. Tonight would have been, if he wouldn't have got a little bit loose up there, it's so hard to pass here. And he got just a little bit loose, I think, and finally got a run underneath of him. But man, I tried for laps and laps there to try and finally get underneath of him.
Yeah, you battled out quite a bit and looked like you were trying to lift not as early as him to try to catch some gaining. And on track or on the turn entry, you looked like you were gaining a lot. But when it came to tracking out, he looked like he definitely was beating you.
Yeah, we definitely were running two different lines. He was trying to run in a little bit higher and lift earlier, and then drive off the corner more than I was. And I was going down underneath a little bit. And it was the only way that I was going to be able to get around him was to try and figure out how to run a different line.
Well, tonight you pick up your fifth victory in this series. And with a lot of people that I talk to, you're getting the term legend coined to you as far as when it comes to late model driving. And I mean, all the iRacing community, if I mention your name, they say, oh yeah, that guy, he's a legend when it comes to late models. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't consider myself a legend, but it's nice to be thought of like that. I hope that I'm thought of as somebody that races people clean, and that's the main thing. I'm not trying to go out and run anybody over to win, just putting in my time and doing what I can.
Well, next week we go into New Smyrna. What can we expect there from the 37 car?
Well, we're going to work on it. I'm hoping we'll be pretty good there too. We usually have a pretty good car there. That track's a little different there. You run two different lines. Each corner's different, so there ought to be some good racing, though.
All right. Well, is there any final shout-outs you'd like to give for the YouTube audience here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Adam for putting on the Sim Racing Short Tracker Pro Series. I want to thank you for the Digital Forge Broadcasting for putting on the race here, and H&H Sign Supply, just for crafters.com, and the guys over at Wheeling and Dealing Motorsports.
All right, Tim. Well, congratulations again on your fifth victory in the series here tonight at Irwindale. We look forward to seeing what you got next week when we head into New Smyrna.
All right, we'll see you there.
Well, there you have it, folks. Some words there from a humble gentleman, somebody of champion caliber, Pro Series caliber, folks. Very, very humble, and his good buddy Austin Yarborough. Hard-fought battle here tonight at Irwindale Speedway. 115 laps led for the 51 of Austin Yarborough, 35 for the 37 of Tim Bills. Let's take a look at the results here before we sign off. Tim Bills, Austin Yarborough, Andre Boudoin, David E. Knowles, Logan Runyon, Jerry Stone, Doug Sigmund, Ray Farlow, and Adam Maddox will be your field here tonight. Coming up 1 week from tonight, folks, it's going to be a great race in New Smyrna. Martinsville in a couple weeks and Five Flags to conclude the series. And just about 3 weeks from tonight. Coming up tomorrow night, we got the Sim Racing Authority's Autism Awareness Series. They are definitely up there on the iRacing Live portal tonight with Max Speed TV and Rudy Cummings over there doing a great job covering their truck series. But we will have the Gen 6 series tomorrow night. Tuesday night, the Wounded Warrior Cup Series Anarchy Motorsports League will be back in action. And we got a new series starting up Wednesday night with a couple of different leagues. You'll have to tune in to catch that. That'll do it for us here tonight, folks. I'm Dustin Caldwell with the Digital Forge Broadcast Network saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night.